Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys joining me for today's video, because I'm going to tell you guys about my competition day today here on Table Rock Lake. We had our last BFL tournament of the season here for the Ozark division. I'm going to give you a rundown how my day went and show you the lures I caught them on, and tell you a little bit about my pattern that I was fishing in the tournament. And actually, I wound up catching my fish today, guys, on two different lures, and these are the lures that I put in my new Blockett's Corner September picks. If you guys haven't seen it yet, you know, I've got that Blockett's Corner page on Tackle Warehouse. I'll put the link in the description. And the baits that I caught, the baits that I put in my Blockett's Corner for the month of September are the exact ones I caught them on, because today I caught all my fish on this Whopper Plopper 130, this all grunged out looking color here. And then I caught the rest of them on this Megabass Super Z2 crankbait here. You guys hear me talking about this thing a lot, so those are the two baits I caught them on. I'll sort of run down the day a little bit. So if you didn't see, guys, I'm in my buddy's old bass boat here, my buddy's 1989 model. So I didn't have any time to practice here. I had to get the boat worked on the day before the tournament. So I just went out on the lake a little bit just to look at the water clarity. Didn't really have much time to practice. I sort of just wanted to get a feel for that. So going into this tournament here, you know, I knew that I couldn't, you know, I knew obviously that I couldn't compete with the spotlighters in the tournament. So I had to figure out something shallow, which is the way I like to fish here in the tournament. And by the way, guys, this tournament was dominated by spotlighters. When I was weighing my fish and took them back down to the dock, all the guys from MFL were fizzing all the bass down there. They were obviously caught deep spotlight, and so that's how the majority of them are caught here. So anyway, this is how I ran my day. I ran up one of the rivers today, and I went up into some stained water, like, you know, no surprise to that at all. And I started out right off the bat just fishing a shady rocky bank with the Whopper Plopper. And right off the bat, like probably the first 30 minutes, I caught two nice ones, you know, two, you know, solid 2-pound keepers on the Whopper Plopper. And we had a bright sunny day. I mean, you can see that right now we didn't have a cloud in the sky today, so I knew that shade wasn't going to last very long. So I ran as much shade as I could the rest for about the next hour or so, and never had another bite on it. And I was really hoping, you know, that they would bite that thing even up in the day, even if I could find some small shade pockets, because you can catch big ones on that this time of year. But I just caught those two keepers, and then I went back, started doing my primary pattern, which what I was counting on, was cranking this Super Z2. And right off the bat, guys, I was just basically cranking rocky channel banks, you know, fairly steep banks, parallel on the bank. I had it on 8-pound test line on this Megabass. This is the Levante whip snake spinning rod here, but you guys hear me talking about fishing this crankbait a lot on spinning rod. With 8-pound line, guys, I can get this thing down deeper than anybody can with the, you know, just bait caster with 12. So I was making long parallel casts with that, and I just started catching them right and left, just tons of non-keepers, like, you know, 10-incher, 12-incher, 14-incher, 13-incher, just I don't know, probably caught 40 of them doing that today. I ran it all day long, and throughout the course of weeding through all those small fish, I wound up catching two more keepers. So here it is. I got to weigh in at 3:30, and it's about noon, so I've got 4 keepers in the boat. And all of them are about the same size. They're just about 2 pounds apiece. So I knew that I really felt that I needed to get a couple good ones out of nowhere. But, you know, as many small fish as I was catching, and then the keepers that I caught were just 15 1/4 inchers. And after doing that for 4 or 5 hours, I didn't feel like all of a sudden I was just going to catch a couple 4-pounders to have a chance to win the tournament. So I made a decision. I was going to bail out of that area, and I was going to run down the lake, and I was going to spend the rest of the day throwing a big glide bait and the Whopper Plopper if I got into the right type of water. So I ran down the lake, about 30 miles down the lake, and I started fishing some steeper banks and some docks. And I spent the rest of the day fishing that big giant glide bait. If I can show it here, the one I was fishing here, just around the docks here, this big glide bait like that. And I had one good one come out on it, like probably about a 3-pounder, and that's the only fish that I had come out on it. So I wound up only weighing 4 keepers in the tournament. But you know, I know I could have caught a 5th fish if I had, you know, 3 more hours to fish. So I'm almost 100% confident I could have got my 5th one. But if it was just a 2-pounder, I wasn't going to win the tournament with it. And I felt that if I could go down there and spend 2 or 3 hours throwing that big glide bait, and then possibly get like a 5 or 6 pounder just charging out from one of those docks and hitting that thing out of nowhere, that with the 4 that I had and the big one, you know, I'd still have a shot to win, because when I weighed in, I think 15 pounds was leading the tournament. But anyway, guys, accomplished my goal for the year here, qualified for the BFL, or I guess it's the Phoenix BFL regional on Pickwick in October. So I think I was 13th in the points going into that one. So, excuse me, I'm sure I stayed in the top 20 for the points. But just sort of, you know, reflecting back on the season a little bit, you know, looking back, I just didn't have much practice time here. I'm not using that as an excuse, because I know most of the lake's really good we fished. But it just so happened the way my schedule was, most of the time I didn't get any practice, or just maybe a half a day of practice. And that's okay sometimes, but if you really want to maximize your opportunities and have multiple patterns, especially when you fish shallow like I do, you probably need a little bit more practice time. So anyway, guys, that's the report from here. Like I said, if you guys want to try something, guys, you can get a lot of bites on this time of year. Pick you up, go to Tackle Warehouse and click my Blockets Corner link there, and get you a couple of these Super Z2 Mega Bass. This is the color I was using today. It's probably the best fall crankbait, guys, I have ever used. The thing is, freaking catches them big time. Like I said, I probably caught 40 fish on it today, but just those 2 keepers that were on it. Some days, though, you might catch 30 or 40, and you might catch 10 keepers on it. It just depends on the day. But we had a north wind today. It was post-frontal, a little bit tougher. That's why I think a lot of the spotlighters dominated this tournament, because they were fishing deep, and those deep fish weren't near as affected by this bluebird sky and north wind as my shallow fish were. So anyway, guys, that's the report. Really appreciate you all tuning in for the tournaments all week, all year long. I've got my last tournament in 2 weeks up at Lake the Ozarks. It's the Toyota Series tournament up there. A lot on the line for that. I'm in 13th or 14th place in the points. They take the top 25 to the championship on Wheeler Lake. I really want to make that one, because it pays $200,000 for first, and I like Wheeler Lake. So I'll be probably practicing a little bit more for that one and really putting some effort into it. So talk later, guys. See you.